Alright, so hello to the whole two people that are probably going to be watching this. I decided that I wanted to record and showcase some of my builds for fighting superbosses in Xenoblade Chronicles X, so this is the first of those. This build's going to be for Pharsis the Ever Queen, and it's going to be using Javelins for the main offensive weapon and Rayguns for the supportive weapon. The build requirements for surviving a battle with Pharsis will be in the description if anyone's interested in that. And if anyone has any questions about the build or why I am running what I'm running, feel free to ask in the comments and I will try to respond when I can. I think that's about all I have to say for the preamble, so let's go ahead and start showing off my build. So for my armor, I'm mostly running Gravity Resistance. That's the most important thing for this battle, with everything else pretty much being put into either physical resistance or resist topple. Pharsis has an art that can resist topple, which is very annoying, so I want to be running 200 topple resistance if you can fit in the build, which I can, so I'm doing that. And then physical resistance just helps with some of the more powerful physical arts that Pharsis can be throwing out. For my weapons, I'm running an Ether Javelin, which with most of my augments being put into Appendage Crusher. Then for my Raygun, just something with potential up, and then I'm running a bit of Arts Gain TP and a bit more Appendage Crusher. The Arts Gain TP is there to help with my TP economy early on in the overdrive. It's not necessary, but it is very nice to have, so I'm running it because of that. And then Potential Boost and Appendage Crusher are going to be really helpful for DPS because I'm going to be using a TP art for the majority of my damage, and those just are more useful to be running than melee attack up for a build like this. A quick rundown of my skills, most of them are fairly self-explanatory. Secondary Accelerator and Fast Forward both reduce art cooldowns, which will basically just let me use my arts more and keep up my damage per second and keep up the momentum in the battle. Aura Assault is really nice because if I have an aura active, it gives me 30% more melee accuracy, which means that I don't have to invest augments into increase my melee accuracy so I can hit Pharsis. Then both Aura Assault and Core Crusher will increase my damage they increase base damage, which means that those will help more than an additive such as Supreme Sword, which gives 100% extra damage, but it's additive not to base damage, so it matters a little bit less. Finally, I am running Weapon Guard. This will increase my physical resistance whenever I'm wielding a melee weapon. Because this build is using primarily a Javelin for DPS, I'm going to be holding a Javelin for most of the fight, which means I'm going to have higher physical resistance, which once again helps with some of those strong physical attacks that Pharsis is going to be using. Last but not least, I'll go ahead and show off my arts. I am running 2 auras. Most of the time I would only want to run 1, but because I don't have any healing arts, I wanted to run an aura for that. So I'm running Speed Demon. I could run instead Raygun, which is a very good aura, but even though Pharsis doesn't use any electric attacks, I personally do not like using aura arts if I can help it, so I'm not running that. Master Gunner is my offensive aura. The only thing that matters that it does the boost potential, ranged attack, and appendage damage do not matter. So the boosted potential is the only thing I care about. Clarity Ray is a really good art. It gives ether resistance up, which is really nice because Pharsis has access to ether arts, so this will give me extra resistance to that, which is really nice. It'll help a lot with my survivability. Then also it cleanses debuffs. This is really helpful because Pharsis can inflict some nasty debuffs like Time Bomb and Gravity Resistance down, which can be a real pain to deal with if you do not have a cleansing art. Hair Trigger is mostly here just to be an immediate reuse green art. This will help a lot for changing the color of the arts palette, which doesn't really matter for this build, but it will also be really helpful for just letting me build my overdrive count quickly. It does help a little bit with DPS because of Supercharge, but it's not something that's I'm really taking into account whenever I made this build. For my other arts, I'm running Overwhelm, which is a 3-hit purple art. This will be great for TP economy later in the battle. Then Arcing Horn and Balance Breaker. These are both just solid Javelin arts. Arcing Horn, I can see an argument for me using something else instead, like Spiral Horn, which would let me keep the Ether attribute, but because Arcing Horn just has such higher of a hit scaling, it really doesn't make that big of a difference what I run, and I just prefer Arcing Horn. And finally, Maximum Voltage. This is going to be the main DPS art of this build, as well as it has 12 hit counts, so it's going to be good for building my overdrive count. Maximum Voltage does extra damage after you've lost your skill in a battle. It says plus 800, but this isn't additive. not a base damage multiplier, which means it's not really as much as it seems like. It's still a good, it will still double or triple the damage per second at max overdrive count, which is significant, and it's significant enough that I'm going to show the build. I'm going to showcase the build both with and without skill break, but it is one of those things that's worth knowing that's not as powerful as it immediately seems. So with that, I think that's about all I have to say, so I'm just going to jump into the fight, and I'll try and explain my thoughts as I go through the fight. So the first thing is I'm going to be targeting the head. That is because the head has an appendage hardness of 0, whereas if I were to target something like the horn, it would have an appendage hardness of 3, and I would be doing a lot less damage. So just simply for convenience, while Pharsis comes over to me, I'm going to be staying in the skill, and I'll hop out whenever she uses Lethal Tail right here. I don't really need to be doing this, but it's just for convenience. So there we go, go ahead and hop out and pop the overdrive. I want to use the aura first, because it will boost my accuracy and let me start hitting. Go ahead and get off Clarity Ray for the Ether Res, and then start building overdrive count. Go ahead and pop the level 2 aura. And just keep focusing on overdrive count. I can activate level 3 Clarity Ray for longer duration, and if you know, I'm just going to kind of start focusing on damage. Go ahead and do that. Back up a little bit, don't want to end up in the water, that'll kill my overdrive, and I can start my art rotation. So this is the art rotation that I use for this build. And there's not really a whole lot to say, I'm just going to keep powering through with DPS as Pharsis goes through her next few phases. And I'll comment on things that are worth noting, keep an eye on the overdrive count, on the overdrive duration, make sure you're keeping that up. So Pharsis is entering phase 2, I used that at a bad time. Hopefully I'll get back up whenever. Yeah, so now I think she's getting close to entering phase 3. So I'm going to want to now pop this, and this should prevent me from getting knocked back. No, it did not. I mistimed that, but if you're in a TP art, you won't get launched by that, which is really nice. Pharsis is going to start healing now, so I'm going to want to that art that she used there that launched me inflicted gravity resistance down, so I want to cleanse that off. This tail swipe here inflicts time bomb, so I'm also going to want to cleanse that off. I also kind of want to use this, and I just want to get back to my Javelin, so I'm going to cancel out of the art animation using my overdrive. For auras, you can cancel out using overdrive and still get the buff. For normal buffs, you have to finish the buff animation. So just going to focus on DPS. I'm pretty healthy right now, not really a whole lot to worry about. Pharsis is healing up again, not really a whole lot I can do about that, just gotta... Her healing patterns are kind of random, so you just kind of gotta deal with what she gives you. Some fights are better than others because of that, but... There's not really a whole lot more to say right now, just... Don't die to that. If I can get off. One more maximum voltage, I'll probably kill her. Yeah, she's going down here. Nice. So that is what the build looks like whenever you do not let your skill break. So now I'm going to show whenever you do let your skill break, and I don't need any of that stuff, so I'm just going to sell it. Go ahead and return to the skill to respawn her. Alright, so I actually had to cut away there because I had the wrong skill, but now I have a skill that Pharsis will be able to destroy, so this should go a lot better. So, once again, go want to target the head. I want to get the softer appendage, and I'm just going to kind of wait here for Pharsis to destroy my skill. Not really a whole lot to say, just she should take her about 3 or 4 attacks to kill my skill, which shouldn't take but a second. Alright, time that, and then once again you want to pop the overdrive, use the aura, and then just start with DPS. So you can see right now I'm doing a lot more damage than I was before. A large portion of that's just simply because I don't have overdrive count built up yet, so relatively maximum voltage is a lot stronger, but that's gonna fizzle out to about double or triple a little bit later in the fight as I start to get my overdrive count up. With the Scale Break, this build actually has enough DPS to kill Pharsis before she starts healing. I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen here or not, but it can happen. But I'm just going to get in my art rotation. I don't think that I'm going to be able to get it, because it's going to launch me, then she's going to heal. So we don't get to see that, but you can see that I did get close, and you can probably understand how it could do enough damage, but not that important. Get to see more of this build, and this build definitely has the DPS to handle this fight. So you can see just doing a lot more damage. Cleanse off the time bomb there. She's going for another regen. Like I said, it's random when she uses it. It feels like the more damage you're doing, she uses it more often, and then as the fight goes on for longer, or if you're doing less damage, she uses it less. But one more maximum voltage should kill her. And there we go. So that is this build. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and once again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave a comment. And with that, I think that's all I have to say. Have a good one.